still pursuing his plan of mystification and determined not to deviate from it. The author of the facts states in page 69 and 70 that Napoleon has the uncontrolled privilege of riding and is permitted to receive company, thus confounding, as in the instance of the bulletins, Napoleon's note written on the 25th of April, 1818, with circumstances which occurred 3 months after that letter had been sent to Sir Hudson Lowe, and with the arrival of Dr. Verling at Longwood, July 25th of the same year. Upon the subject of being allowed to receive company, I have to observe that visits between the officers, inhabitants, passengers, and the prisoners at Longwood are effectually prevented, either by direct prohibitions as issued by the officers of the 66th Regiment, by the proclamations, insinuations, and threats made to individuals, and by an apprehension of rendering themselves suspected, or by their being expected and required to make a report of their conversations to the governor. Two marked examples clearly showing that any amelioration, however plausible it may seem, is really only got up to have the appearance of doing something to benefit the prisoner's situation, while in reality nothing is done, will be found in the following instances. On the 9th of May, 1818, a letter was received by Count Bertrand by Sir Hudson Lowe, containing extracts from a letter of Lord Earl Bathurst, dated 1st January 1818, offering to grant permission for 50 persons, the choice of Napoleon himself, subject to the approbation of the governor, to visit Longwood without any other pass than his invitation being required, also containing directions that, in summer, the sentinels should not be placed around the house until 9 o'clock. Sir Hudson Lowe, about the same time that he sent this letter, published a proclamation in which he prohibited any communication whatsoever with the foreign persons under detention. He also continued to post the sentinels, as usual, at 6 o'clock, gave written orders at the guardroom to allow the French to pass until 9 o'clock, while verbal ones were daily given to the sentinels not to allow them to go out after sunset, 6 o'clock, and caused the officers of the 66th Regiment to be prohibited from speaking to the French under pain of being reported to him. The other instance will serve to point out, even in a still stronger light, that every supposed improvement, however specious it may appear, is merely illusory, while it clearly manifests the understanding which subsists between some of the principal characters in St. Helena. In the latter end of December 1818, an officer of His Majesty's ship Favorite, who was invited to Plantation House in the course of conversation there with Sir Hudson Lowe, asked the latter for a report that he had heard of Lord Bathurst having accorded permission for 50 persons to visit Napoleon were true, and if so, he intended to apply in conjunction with some of his brother officers to be included amongst that number. Sir Hudson Lowe, in reply, admitted the truth of the report and said that he was very willing to give the applicant a pass for that purpose whenever he thought proper to ask for one, protesting in a most pathetic strain his sorrow that Bonaparte did not see any person, in which he was joined by Sir Thomas Reed, who was present on the 28th of December. 2 or 3 days afterwards, Lieutenants Pierce and Booth and Surgeon Hall of the Favorite waited in consequence of this declaration of Sir Hudson Lowe upon Sir Thomas Reed, and requested that a pass to proceed be given to Longwood. After some hesitation, the Sicilian knight said that if it was not in his power to grant them what they desired, that they must apply to the admiral, upon whom they accordingly waited. After explaining the purpose they came for, they underwent a long interrogation from Admiral Plampin as to the object of their visit to Longwood, and finally obtained a pass to proceed there, upon one condition, however, that they should give their word of honor to the admiral not to go near Napoleon, even if the latter should send for them. Upon this condition, they paid their first and last visit to the captains. Such are the means employed by the governor of St. Helena to debar Napoleon from receiving visitors, and at the same time to make it appear the act of another